Welcome to episode 2. We are going to be talking today about secrets. So I have 2 copies of this one.
Oh, can I have one?
Yeah.
Here, thank you. Yes. Oh, you're giving me the one where, like, it has Jess blotched out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, because we just noticed.
She deserves to be blotched out.
Especially with this one. My gosh.
Yes. Where do we begin?
I know. Well, do we want to do our shout outs to those that...
Yes.
So, we've had a few viewers, which is really sweet.
Yes,
it's
thank
people,
you.
People who know us, but hi. And especially, I think we've gotten a new generation involved. So, Hannah, if you're watching this, we're so happy to have you with us. And maybe we can let her borrow secrets.
Sure.
And do you have 2 copies of Double Love?
I might. I'll have to double check.
Because if you do, we could get her to borrow these, and I think we can get a new generation. It'll be a good one. So, and Alan.
Yes. Hi, Alan.
Hi. Right now, you're listening to our first episode, and we've already gotten a few responses.
Yes.
So, so yeah, I think
he's greatly entertained.
Yeah.
And Kara. Hi, Kara.
Hi. She's been texting me quite a bit, so I think she'll be really excited. Especially now I know that she's been reading secrets too.
That's exciting. Oh, where to begin with secrets?
Like Kara says, Jessica's a bitch.
Like, yeah, she is. I mean, imagine being her sister. Imagine being Liz.
Poor Liz.
I know.
You know, and also,
yes, we have to show off our Pride Starbucks tumblers.
Happy Pride!
Yes, happy Pride. I love this cup. I love all the Pride stuff. It's really cute.
I know, it's adorable. Rainbow's everything.
Yes.
So, yeah, happy Pride to those that celebrate. Cheers. That'd be so cute.
What's in your cup?
Coffee.
Oh, really? There's water in mine.
Yeah.
My energy drink is in her kitchen.
The monster. She's a monster person. I'm more coffee, iced coffee. Even in the winter.
Yeah, I love iced coffee, though. Okay, well, the first thing I would like to say about Secrets is that this book starts out very similarly to Double Love, and that Jessica is bitching about how ugly she is.
She's so horrible.
I know. Yes, it has to be very difficult to be,
blonde and tall. And
her sun-colored hair shimmered about tan shoulders left bare by the silky Hawaiian print sundress that perfectly complemented her blue-green eyes. So, yeah.
I can picture that. I think you could probably get an outfit like that at Target right now.
Probably.
Or Old Navy.
I don't know. Because of the pandemic, it feels like I haven't been shopping in years.
That one time we went, it was kind of glorious.
I know. It was amazing.
We were all ready for the stores to open up again. Ulta.
I know.
It'll be a beautiful day.
I keep thinking about Hobby Lobby already. Yarn. Anyway.
Yes, all the yarn. Since that's what we're also addicted to, because we're little old ladies.
Yes, it's true. Look at me, Jessica ranted. I'm an absolute mess.
She always is. She's a hot mess, clearly.
I know. Definitely a hot mess. Yes. So Jessica's here complaining about her looks with her best friend, Kara. What? No, Lila is her best friend.
Yeah.
No offense to
our Kara. Our Kara. Like, you're still our bestie. We're going to have you on the show, just so you know. We've talked about it already. Be prepared.
So Jessica is trying to get Bruce, which is interesting because Bruce doesn't really make any appearance in this book whatsoever.
No, that was one thing I noticed. Like, I thought I was going to have him on the hot meter again, and there's nothing until the end.
There's not really, there's not really any much
interaction. They
all.
Just mention him.
Yes.
But
so the premise of this book is that Jessica would stop at nothing
to get what she wants.
Should I read the back?
Yes.
Beautiful and ruthless, Jessica Wakefield is determined to be chosen Queen of the Fall Dance at Sweet Valley High. If she can win the contest, she's sure to win Bruce Patman, the most sought-after boy in school. The only person standing in Jessica's way is Enid Rollins. When Jessica discovers the truth about Enid's past, she knows the crown is within her grasp. She doesn't care that Enid is her twin sister, Elizabeth's best friend, or that revealing the secret may cost Enid both her reputation and the boy she loves. Only Elizabeth can save Enid from Jessica's vicious gossip, but can she stop her scheming twin in time?
I do have to say something about that.
Yes.
and it's on here in my notes, the plot and commentary notes. I don't mention anything about Elizabeth knowing Jessica's scheme until the very end. Like, we've sensed a trend already.
Yes.
With these books, like, you know, Jessica. Yeah, there's a formula. Jessica is up to no good. She does something devious to get what she wants. And then Liz is clueless the whole entire time until the very end. And then she does something sneaky.
Yes.
That's what she did in the first one.
So why wouldn't she suspect it?
Yeah. Again, has she met her twin sister?
Also, I would like to point out that at the end of every sentence, there are 2 spaces between the period and the next sentence.
Typewriting.
You don't do that anymore.
No, you don't.
No.
I remember when I was getting one of my short stories published, and the girl's like, you gotta stop that because I've been having to delete them. Like,
Alan still does it.
Speaking of Alan.
Is that him?
That's him.
What did he say?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he sent us a laughing emoji?
Yep. Oh, and she did send a stay tuned. I didn't see that one. I should probably put that on silent.
That's okay.
But it's Alan, so.
Yeah.
My parents actually know his ringtone. My dad's like, Alan? I'm like, yeah. And then you'll hear ding, ding. And he's
so
like,
cute.
Melissa. A whistle is Katie. And now Molly has her own chime because our after party.
Yeah, we didn't even pimp our podcast on the after party.
We need to fix that. Although we did tell them about it. So we'll talk more about it.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, getting back to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We digress a lot.
Elizabeth doesn't know what's going on. No. So, Enid has this awful secret that she used to be a wild child with George Warren, which is the absolute worst name for a bad boy, in my opinion.
Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie.
Yes.
Kissed the girls and made them cry.
George Warren. It's not a bad boy name.
I guess, according to that nursery rhyme, he is kind of a bad boy.
I guess.
He kissed the girls and made them cry.
Yeah.
So but yeah, and he has been rehabilitating in basically a juvenile detention center and keeping in touch, old school, with Enid by letters, which these days I don't think kids understand that correspondence.
Yeah, I know.
Although
now it would be just a text message
or Snapchat.
Oh, look, we have hair blowers.
That's such dramatic. It's so 80s. Like,
yes. I'm gonna take your picture.
With a
easily distracted.
We are. Welcome to our life.
Yes,
this
so
is so true.
Enid is writing letters to George, and she doesn't want her boyfriend Ronnie to know.
Which, remember we talked about him? The douchebag?
Yes, Ronnie is still a douchebag.
Still.
He is actually worse in this book. He is awful.
Yeah.
He is controlling. He is aggressive. He is just not good.
Yeah. And so, but he has his control over Enid. Control freak.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a control freak.
He is a control freak, and she is so afraid of losing him, even though we know, and even Liz knows, like, he's not a good person for her. Mm-hmm. He's a jackass.
Also, I just want to point out that George mentions Disneyland in his letter.
He does.
I was very excited about that.
Also, if you don't know, Disneyland is opening
July 17th. Mm-hmm.
So, if we can't get to Disney World, we may go out to California, go to Anaheim.
Yes.
That would be so amazing.
That would be very exciting.
I miss it. Anyway. And so, during this whole entire episode where Enid is telling Liz, and she shows her some of the letters, it also mentions that one goes unnoticedly dropped and underneath her bed or something like that.
Yes.
Which these days I think that would be a plot twist that they would keep out until the end. Like, Jessica would have come across it and then you would made that connection, like, oh, one of them has been dropped. But this really makes it like you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right away you know what's basically going to happen.
Jessica's a snoop because you can't trust her unless you're Liz.
Yeah, this is also a really short book.
It is.
It's only like 120 pages.
Super quick.
It goes by very quickly, and I think there's not a lot of room to like play up that kind of stuff.
Right.
So Enid shows Liz the letters and tells her deepest, darkest secrets, which is that the big secret is that Enid and George hit a little boy with their car because they were drinking and driving.
And drugged.
And doing drugs.
And doing drugs as well, too.
But the little boy was fine.
And that's why they got into such big trouble, and that's why George was sent to the juvenile facility.
Yes.
Must have been he was the one that was driving. But then also, above and beyond that, George is doing much better now, and he's going to come, and he wants to visit Enid.
George is a new man.
Yeah, he's a new man. He is going to be on the hot meter.
Yes, he will, so stay tuned.
Yep, so we'll be talking more about him. And also what is happening at the school, they talked about the dance that, was it the fall dance?
Yes, the fall dance.
Yeah, the fall dance, and there's, like, homecoming, and there's going to be a crown. And
another
now,
crown.
Another crown. And then
crowning happening.
Right now, it's really between Jessica and Enid. So, in order for Jessica to get Bruce Patman to notice her, she needs to be queen. She needs to be queen.
Yes. So Jessica has moved on to another boy. Last week it was Todd. Yeah. Now it's Bruce.
Because this is happening basically at the end of the last book. So. Yep. When they started with Jessica talking about a hot mess, she actually kind of was, because it was after she was dunked into the dunk tank from Liz's prank that she played on her at the end of the last one.
Liz.
So Liz has a little bit of Slytherin in her. We'll be talking about like Hogwarts houses and all that stuff,
yes,
but
I can see it.
Liz has some Slytherin in her. Like, it comes out, kind of like when it comes out with me. My Slytherin sometimes shows a lot. So that's the first secret, and Ronnie, Enid's boyfriend that no one really likes, is head of the committee, and so he kind of can get people to vote for Enid, his girlfriend, and so Jessica needs to get Ronnie on her side.
Yeah, and Jessica thinks Ronnie is cute. But also going on in the background is this side story with Ms. Dalton. I'm dying to hear your thoughts about this. Miss Dalton is a teacher.
Young.
And she's young.
Beautiful.
She's in her 20s. She's beautiful. Oh, yes. No, she's ancient, according to Jessica.
Oh,
she's in her 20s. She's only 9 years older than them.
Which is actually kind of accurate with how kids these days, they think anyone over the age of 20 is...
It's true.
...is old, and... It's funny, they always say, well, how old are you, Misty? And they're shocked that I say I'm in my 30s. And they're like, really? You look like you're 20. I'm like, I'm not Doogie Howser. Which I don't think they get that reference either.
Probably not.
And if I was that smart, I told them I wouldn't be a teacher. So, I mean, I'm smart, but, like...
Ms. Dalton, yes.
She's French teacher?
Yes.
Of course.
She's tutoring Ken Matthews.
Remember? He got 5s from both of us.
Yes.
Like, he's just the all-American boy.
He's on the hot meter.
He was on the hot meter.
So there's all these rumors flying around about Ms. Dalton, and she's also dating Lila Fowler's dad.
Who's a divorcee, right?
Yes.
Divorcee.
He's rich, and that's
obviously
older. So
right. And so she's closer to Lila's age than her father.
Yes.
And I mean, I can totally get that, like on Sweet Magnolias.
Yeah,
watching that.
You can see why it would be upsetting for Lila.
Like, your dad is basically dating an older sister of yours. Like, that
would be very strange.
So we get that. We really do get that. And then Lila lets it out to Caroline, right? She lets it out to Caroline Pierce, the town gossip.
The town gossip with the princess phone.
With the princess phone. And, of course, like, just makes the right suggestion to get the rumor going that there's something going on with Ken and Miss Dalton.
Yes. So this is kind of a large plot going on in the background.
Like, and it's all about secrets.
Which is actually better than the main idea.
I think so too.
Like
it's more scandalous.
Yeah, it is more scandalous, especially for being high school age and for poor Miss Dalton. So,
I know.
From your teacher's perspective,
that is something, I was looking at the Now and Then. This is obviously something that has been in media. Maybe not recently because we have enough other dramas going on right now. Pandemic. Dirty Cops and Black Lives Matter. Like, we got some big things going on right now. But you'll always get someone in authority abusing their privilege, and with teaching, you have a lot of trust, and that has always been my fear.
I feel like that's every teacher's fear.
Boy, girl, otherwise, it doesn't matter, because whenever I would have, kids stay after to get work done, especially I'm an art teacher, I would have a dark room, I would say, okay, call parents, let them know, I would make sure I was extremely visible, and if I had to go upstairs and help out in the dark room, I'd have other students with me. It wouldn't just be one and the other, because I'm thinking of even Mean Girls, you know, Tram Pack and Coach Carr. Yes. You know, like you get stuff like that, and it's not like it doesn't exist. It does. But
yes,
it's freaky.
Poor Ms. Dalton.
I know. I feel so bad for her.
I feel very bad for her. And then, like, when Enid goes to her house.
I know.
Enid goes to her house, which
like,
was kind of weird. I
like,
don't know. Was that normal?
You know, I know certain teachers, especially if you're in a small town, you know, when you get to be older, like I'm friends with Dana, and so if Dana ever watches this, hi Dana. She was a junior when I got my job there, so that means she's only 7 years younger than me.
Yeah, that's not a big.
It's not, and we're friends. Like we did that road trip out to Boston to visit my brother and just to go see the city, and so you can actually be friends with your students, and you know later on I know people that they've married their students. Much later. Yeah. Because again, if you are teaching and they're like a junior or senior and you're a high school teacher, in like 5-6 years, the age difference doesn't matter at all.
True.
So, and if you have someone who's mature, but right now, like, I'm sorry. Boys can be adorable, and I'm like, oh, you're a cute kid, but they open their mouths and they're like, ugh. Like, I have a hard time finding guys in their 30s and 40s who are mature.
Look at this can of worms we've opened. What's next on your list?
But it's true. You brought it up. I'm just saying.
I did bring it up.
Because that's the thing. Like, it's that maturity thing. And I think no matter how sweet or adorable Ken Matthews is or how mature he may be, he's still a high schooler. He's still a high school boy. He's still immature. And I don't get the appeal of dating.
I just feel bad for Ms. Dalton because she can't control the rumors, and then she wants to quit.
Yeah, and it's
who would blame her?
And nowadays, she would have been suspended at least while they investigate.
I know. I was thinking about that. Like that's the kind of rumor now that would ruin your life.
Totally.
You know, even if it was just
false.
A rumor.
Yeah.
It would just. Yeah.
Because we have heard
it's a different world.
It is such a different world, and so to me, it's like Lila, even back then or now, total bitch move. Like, you can totally break up your dad and his girlfriend in so many other ways than saying that she's having an affair with a 16-year-old boy. And
without going into too much detail about specifics, I was on a jury case with something like this, and
it was false, too, wasn't it?
It was false. Yep. It was just one of those things that turned into a rumor and went haywire.
And ruined someone's life.
And did ruin someone's life. So it does happen, which is really scary. But, you know, the other side also happens. So
it's just like, that's why you have to have those investigations and then also be preventative. So
just a really sad situation. Yeah.
So, those are basically the storylines. I have, like, Enid has a secret, Jessica's hot for Bruce, and there's the hot for teacher.
Yes, and I would just like to point out what a bitch Jessica is to her own mother. Can we talk about how awful she is? It's on page 29.
29? Oh, you wrote that
yes.
one? Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Jessica's in the kitchen bitching about Liz to her mother, and she is horrible. So she's calling Enid a creepy little nerd. Mrs. Wakefield is in there making dinner, just, you know, patting the lettuce leaves dry, accuses Jessica of being jealous, calls her a green-eyed monster.
Yeah, which is so true.
It's very true. Jessica is jealous. Mrs. Wakefield is asking Jessica to get the potato peeler out, and Jessica's just, you know, pouting and shoving tomatoes into her mouth, and saying Liz can hang out with a one-eyed hippopotamus. I mean, I will say these corny descriptions are very delightful.
They are funny.
They're really funny. It's so dramatic and ridiculous. But Jessica's like storming around the kitchen, just being horrible.
Yeah, and
she eats the last tomato out of spite, you know.
Yep.
And then she's in a rage, flurrying. Flung. That's what the book says. Going up to her room. Yes.
And darn Enid Rollins. Like, she truly is jealous because she wants Liz to only care about her. She wants to be Liz's only
Jessica
friend.
wants everyone to only care about her.
Correct. She's like Claire on The Bachelorette.
Yes. Oh, she is.
She is. Blonde, too.
Yeah. She could be Jessica and Elizabeth.
Well, maybe that's what she can do now because her season was...
Is it being canceled?
I don't know. They aren't talking about her. They're talking about, is it Matt James?
Yes.
I'm excited.
He's very cute. Not
He
as
seems
cute
like
as you, Alan.
He has his shit together, too. Gosh. It's about damn time, Bachelor. It's about damn time.
Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time. Oh, there's a pizza place called Guido's. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
There's one in Sault Ste. Marie called Guido's, and it's like the best pizza.
We should take a road trip up there.
We should. That would be really good.
That's
okay,
gonna
if
be
Guido's
super
ever
fun.
comes back, we can be live on scene.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
So good.
Oh, we have to talk about Ronnie in the car. Do you have that written down? He was basically getting all aggressive with Enid, trying to force her to make out with him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was the lookout point conversation,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So
do people make out in cars?
and, like,
With
those
their
lookout
friends?
points
Yes. Is that a real thing, or is that only in books?
in movies or is that something that is very much dated?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That was never a thing.
I mean, you would always find the parking lot that had no one around to make out.
Yeah, that was never...
Or more. Wasn't one of those, Mom. Just so you know. But I knew people.
I grew up in the woods, so everywhere was private.
I know. That's probably why.
That's probably why I don't know.
Yeah. But it's like there's always that lookout point where all the teenagers go to, and then you'd have like
all
like,
the
watch
cars
Grease.
in a row with the steamy windows. Yeah, just like Grease, exactly. So anyway, that's what Enid Miller's Point. That's what it's called.
And that's where Ronnie is very like
he's aggressive. He's being horrible.
That's like red flag, Enid.
Yeah.
Red flag. Get out of there now.
He's like trying to force her, which it's not good. No. And I don't understand Enid. Enid must have low self-esteem because she wants to stay with Ronnie.
Yes.
Like, what? Enid? Why?
Being single is way better.
Yes. It's better than being with a Ronnie. No, thank you.
And that's what I've always said when people ask me, like, why aren't you married yet? I'm like, I'd rather have a prince like she has. And I'd rather be single because I'm doing okay by myself than have anyone treat me. And I think that's what got to my dad when I finally explained it like that. Like, Dad, I could be with someone who abuses me right now just because I settled so I could have the traditional family and reproduce. And he's like, oh, that's a good point. So I think that's what really got to my dad. Now I'm getting to the point where no one even asks anymore. It's like they know they're like, spinster. Yep.
You should get a shirt that says that with a hashtag.
Oh, yes. Okay. We'll work on that one.
Ms. Dalton.
Ms. Dalton.
Oh, Alan has texted us once again, and he said, I am laughing about how much I am featured.
He's going to love this one, too.
Yeah, he is. One day he'll make an appearance.
He will. We'll make sure.
Oh, my gosh. We could redo our hot meter cards, and it could be Alan. A picture of him.
How many Allens is
how many
this?
Allens do you get? Oh, my gosh.
We'll save that especially for his.
Would be very funny.
Oh, now he's going to watch this episode and be like, no, our secret. Forget about this, Alan. Forget about this.
You don't remember this. You don't know anything. Yes. So.
Liz is still gullible, and that's the other, like I mentioned that earlier.
Liz is so smart. You know, she's the writer at the paper. She wants to be a writer. She does excellent in school, but yet all this stuff with Jessica seems to fly over her head. Maybe she just doesn't want to believe it. Maybe she doesn't want to believe that her sister is that bad.
Denial, denial, denial.
Yeah, must be. I don't know.
And then, with Jessica is coming on to Ronnie, like once Enid and Ronnie break up, which Enid's so pissed at Liz because she thinks that the only way that this could have known. And I definitely get Enid's point of view because if you've only told your best friend
one person
and the next day it comes out
and
that
it's all over school.
It is. Like you can at least make her connection. And so I totally get with that, and Liz is just like, I don't know how this would have happened. I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And they even go to, George was also friends with Winston, the class clown.
Yes.
And she even talked to him and said, did you happen to mention anything? And he was like, he was hurt because that's one of his good friends. And he's like, I know I'm a blabbermouth, but I would never call out one of my friends. Like, he's a good friend.
I love Winston.
Like, go Winston. Fan. Winston's totally going to end up with, like, the supermodel. It's like in that movie, Can't Hardly Wait.
I love Winston. He's awesome.
I can't remember. Like,
he should be on the hot meter. So, yes. So, Liz is just like, no, I didn't say anything. And this kind of goes back to Double Love because they were all about, like, our friendship. I would never betray you.
Right. And then
Enid just, like, believes that Liz did this.
Without thinking.
Yes.
Could someone else in that household have been overhearing?
But to Enid's credit, her emotions were running high, which she actually
admitted.
says.
Yes.
She says
after
that later
her talk
on.
with Miss Dalton. Like, Miss Dalton actually helped her understand, like, you know, this is just completely normal.
It is.
So, but then Jess comes on to Ronnie to get him to take her to the dance. And Ronnie just, like, it's actually kind of fitting. Like, he just rejects Jessica. Like, no. And then it made me wonder, and this was my note, does Ronnie not want to date Jess because she's not a pushover like Enid is?
Oh, that is an excellent point. Yeah, Ronnie needs to go out with a pushover because he's a douchebag and controlling.
Yes.
And mean.
And he wouldn't be able to control Jess.
No, nobody can control her.
No. And so that was my one thought. I'm like,
I'm thinking about her later boyfriends and getting sad. Okay. I won't spoil that.
No. That's coming up within probably a few 20 episodes or something like that.
Yeah. We'll see.
So I think, like, that's really what I had with the plot. And then by the end, Liz's light bulb goes off finally.
Yes, of course.
That, like, when she finds the note that fell to her floor, and then she realizes it's like Jessica was going through her head, like,
yes,
duh. So you think?
Yeah. Why didn't you think of that earlier?
Your devious sister. And then she has a really good prank for Jessica to get her revenge. I guess I'm like, do we want to give that away? She does another revenge at the end, and it's a pretty good one because it involves Jessica getting Queen. So she gets what she wants.
Yes.
But then she's kind of...
She does get what she wants.
But someone else also gets what they want. I don't even want to give a pronoun.
What was I going to say? Enid ends up with George again. So, it's a happy ending for Enid. Yay. She gets rid of Ronnie, and George sweeps her off of her feet.
He's totally changed, not just by personality, but looks. So, he's, like, super attractive. He takes her to the dance, which is, like...
So, in your face, Ronnie.
Yeah.
In your face. I really hate Ronnie. I just hate him so much. He's the worst type of guy.
Probably because...
The worst type of guy.
We may or may not know people like that.
Yes, we know control freaks. Oh.
When Alan watches this, he's going to be like, you guys.
I know.
So now and then, and I even had to put some page numbers down. Hopefully they're the same ones. So there's another really good cheesy pickup line in this one from Bruce to Jessica.
What page are you on?
I think it was 26 on my other book. Yeah, it still is.
Okay.
Do you want me to read this one?
Yes.
Well. If it isn't Little Bo Peep, drawled Bruce, as Jessica fell and stepped beside him. He raked her over with a flick of his heavy-lidded blue eyes. Lost any sheep lately?
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm even trying to think of the nursery rhyme.
Little Bo Peep lost her sheep. Let's look it up.
Yeah, go ahead and do that one. But it's like, I'm sorry, you can't impress me with a nursery rhyme. Old Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider that sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away.
The first thing that comes up is Little Baby Bum. Okay, it is a mother goose. Okay, yes. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and can't tell where to find them. Oh, this is all ringing a bell now. Mm-hmm. Leaving them alone, and they'll come home bringing their tails behind them. Yeah, this goes on, but it's nothing having to do with like, hey baby, I'm into you.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Okay, that was good.
Yeah.
I would have to also say the pop culture references are way more dated in this one.
Yes,
they're talking about Bo Derek and 10. I mean, people know that, but they don't. The audience for this doesn't know that now.
Right. And Kmart reference. Did you get that?
Yes, the Kmart.
Between a mud wrestling pit and a Kmart bargain bin. Yes. Is describing the walls of Jessica's bedroom.
I worked at Kmart for 5 years. From when I was 16 until I was 21. I know a lot about Kmart. Mm-hmm. So yes, Kmart was like new and shiny back then. It would be Target now.
It would be Target now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would be the equivalent.
I love Target.
Except, I don't know, like, that's saying a bad thing about...
That's true.
And Target bargain?
Who has a horrible bargain bin? Walmart. Yeah, Walmart's probably a better comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was... The Ronnies of the world still exist in 2020, so we've talked about that.
Yes. Ew.
Way more rampant. Because it's obvious to see them on social media, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true.
You're like, gross. And you're a Ronnie.
Thanks. No, thank you.
Unfollow, thank you very much. Block. Done that. I get some really weird creepers.
I do too. I block them all.
Like, especially if they only have like the one post.
Yeah.
And their picture is like of a sky. Creeper.
I block them all.
Ugh. And then the teacher-student relations is like, it would have been exploding. It would have hit the news. It would have been on CNN.
Yeah, it would have been everywhere.
That teacher wouldn't be able to really work anywhere at all.
Which is sad.
Because this was a false rumor. But
yes, rumors ruin lives.
But if you're in a position of authority, you get...
Yeah. And even if it was investigated, we're going in circles now.
We are.
And it was false, your life is still ruined. Like in today's world. Yeah. It still ruins your reputation.
Yeah. You would have to work at Kmart if you're lucky, because especially whatever charges would have been put against you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There was another pop culture reference
you have to be
I was going to mention.
As a teacher, like flawless, which is ridiculous and way high stress.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
She is perfect.
I try. There was a Billy Graham reference, which cracked me up.
And there was Robert Redford in this one?
Yes. Comparing Mr. Collins to a young Robert Redford.
Which, fair enough. I mean, I think people still know who that is.
Right.
And he is handsome.
He is handsome. So, there was the Robert Redford, because I had that one in there under the hot-o-meter with Mr. Collins.
Nice.
But yeah, so I think way more dated with this one, with the pop culture references.
Yes, very much more dated. I don't know if there was anything really now that was super relevant.
Nothing that was relevant. Just
not as relevant. Yeah. Like we were saying about the Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is bigger now, you know? So.
There's Star Wars land now.
And I can't remember
Which
if
is
it was
awesome, by the way.
Was it this book that mentioned Wonder Woman? I mean, that's pretty.
That is.
Wonder Woman's still very popular.
And she's making a comeback, too, with the movies.
Yes. There's also a lot of Velvet. I'm on page 56. Talking about Dana, the singer of the Droids, the very popular band at the school. She's wearing tight black velvet jeans, which to me sounds like a dog fur nightmare. I have 2 dogs.
I know.
So, sparkly pink leg warmers and a purple satin blouse.
Like 80s.
That is so 80s. I love it.
So
I'm channeling some 80s today with my fruit necklace and my matching cherry
It looks like runts.
earrings.
Which reminds me of my youth and childhood.
I love runts. They're so good.
We should get some for the next episode.
And when Ms. Dalton goes to chaperone the dance, she's wearing a silk flower in her hair, and she's also wearing kind of like the flower on your shirt, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And she's also wearing a velvet skirt. So there's a lot of velvet going on, which is coming back now.
It is.
I like velvet.
The 80s and 90s have made a massive comeback. I remember when I was like in middle school and the bell bottoms and like the 70s, 60s and 70s, and my mom's like, oh my gosh, like brings back like nightmares.
I know.
And she says, one of these days it's going to be your fashion. So I'm like, no, this is so cool.
I know. Now we're getting that.
We are. There's that entire hip 90s section at Target.
Yes.
Where it's like, I see students wearing it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the baby doll dresses, the chokers.
Did you notice all of the Space Jam? I don't know what episode you were on of Queer Eye, because I've watched the whole entire season. But Anthony is wearing a Space Jam.
I've only watched the first two.
What was the second person?
The second one was the dog groomer.
Oh, yes. Okay. So it'll be coming up.
Okay. But I started watching the third, but then my internet died and it was late, so I went to...
So Anthony is always rocking the t-shirts with the pop culture references. I'm like, watch that one. Nope, know what that one is. There's actually an Iggy Pop 25 cents or something like that shirt. And then for some reason, like I didn't mention Iggy Pop, something came up on Facebook today. Facebook knows.
I know.
Facebook
They're mining our brains.
Ugh. And it was like above the Mason-Dixon line, it's Iggy Pop, and below it's Iggy Soda.
Okay, that's really funny.
I'm like, actually, it would be like the Midwest would be Iggy Pop, and everyone else is Iggy Soda, except for those places in the South that call it Coke. So it would be Iggy Coke.
Or soft drink. There's some soft drinks.
Yeah, that is true. So I'd like a Coke. What kind? Coke. Like Coca-Cola. I remember my brother telling me that when he went down south for the first time. So, Hot-O-Meter?
Sure.
All right. So, Mr. Collins.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Mr. Collins is an attractive man.
He's
a grown, mature adult.
Yes. They also, I forgot, another pop culture reference, Ask Abby.
Oh, yes.
Because he's the person you go to for advice, and he was like their resident Ask Abby consultant. But they compare him to young Robert Redford, so you know he's
handsome.
You know, what is it? Striking blue eyes. They mention. Yes. And he's a kind person.
He is kind. He seems to be very logical. He still likes Ms. Dalton, even after the scandal. So we know that he does. He danced with her. Has a good bullshit meter.
Yes, he danced with her, didn't he? At the dance,
he does. He does dance with her,
and that like kind of shows because all the kids respect him too.
Yes.
So he's just he's a good egg.
We need to find your Mr. Collins.
No, it's funny
Mr.
whenever
Collins, where are you?
I know. Move to the Bay City area because I can't date anyone that I work with. I used to think like, ooh, are they hiring new teachers? Is he cute? And someone's like, yeah, but he's married. I'm like, and now they're just getting too young for me. And
fair enough.
Also married, just so you know. But if you come to Bay City, there are lots of schools around here, and it's a decent area to work in.
There are a lot of schools.
Bay City Western?
A lot of schools.
Would be a good one. John Glenn.
Okay, who's next?
George.
Okay, ready?
Yep, go.
George has turned his life around.
He has.
He is so kind to Enid. And, you know, now his name sounds like it should be George Warren.
Yes.
Because he comes and he sweeps
Prince George.
Enid. Yes. Sweeps Enid off of her feet. He's kind. He writes her the letters.
Yes.
He fixes his bad boy ways.
Like, how many adults do that?
Yeah, not a lot.
And a 16-year-old?
He beat the system at a young age.
Good for George.
Good job, George. We are proud of you.
We are very proud. I had to put Ronnie in there because we learned more about Ronnie. What did we give him last time? Ice cold? Okay. Ready? Go. He's
Ronnie
still ice cold.
Is, I think I said something about like
the worst creature,
melting the ice cube. Even
yes, he is an ice cube puddle.
He is, yeah, he is not good.
That a dog peed in. Like, sorry, I didn't say the other one.
You're
welcome. By the way, Katie, if you're watching this, Lysol. Long joke. Katie hates the word Lysol. Because she's been listening to it too much with her job. So
that does happen. Okay, who's next on our list?
Ken. With this whole entire situation. Because Ken he was sick with the whole thing with Miss Dalton. So, okay. Ready? Yep, go. Still a 5.
Ken is still a 5. He is a good human.
Yeah. He felt bad. And I think he really probably was sick. He just seems the type that, like, this was just an inconvenience. Although I wish he wasn't sick so we could see him standing up.
He's very honorable.
For Miss Dalton. Being like, no, it's just tutoring because I suck at foreign languages.
Yeah. He did the right thing. Setting people straight. I think we need to do Winston. Winston plays a large role in this book.
He does, especially by the end.
He's George's friend.
Ready? And go.
I love Winston.
But you also may know more about him, though, too.
This is true.
So, at this point, he's still a goofball. He is still a dork. But he is sweet, and he's a good friend. I'm
going to say this about Winston. He is the guy you marry. Winston is the guy that you fall madly in love with and marry because he is your best friend.
Yes, and he will grow on you. And that right now, he just hasn't grown on me yet because I'm only $2 into this.
I have a large history with Winston.
But yes, he would be the type, like I said, he's the one that would, like, date and marry a supermodel. He'd be at MIT and be that goofball. He would be the mascot for MIT.
I love Winston.
I think it's the Beavers.
Todd doesn't really make an appearance in this book very much. He's kind of in the background, just being Liz's boyfriend.
Yeah, her arm candy. So.
Yes.
All right, so we're trying something different with the Jess and Liz. I think last week went really well, so I just have situations of who did it better.
Okay. What's on your list?
I have the queen plot.
The queen plot. Oh, yes.
For Jessica to become queen.
Okay.
And so let's, she's the one that does the plotting against Enid, tries to date Ronnie, and then becomes queen. So.
Ready?
Yep. Because
she gets exactly what she wants.
She does. She planned and executed that flawlessly.
Yes, she did. She got exactly what she wanted when it comes down to it.
When it does, yes.
So, yeah. Good job, Jess.
So the crowning.
Your vindictive ways.
Yes. So now the crowning. Who did that one? Ready? Go.
Yes.
Liz.
Not to be undercut by Liz.
No. Liz really gets a nice revenge because the king and queen of the fall dance have to show up to all these social functions for the rest of the year. So that's why she wanted it to be Bruce. And she thought it was going to be Bruce. So this way, Jessica could be forced to be with Bruce and then work her wiles and work her Jessica magic and have him fall madly in love with her. Because he's like the only person that really, except for Ronnie, really kind of blows her off. Like, he'll flirt with her. He's a tease.
Yes,
Bruce is definitely a tease. He knows Jessica loves him. So
yeah.
But Liz, what she does and who Jessica's now forced to hang out with and was forced to kiss by the end was like the perfect revenge because it was so good for that person too.
Yes, it was. You'll have to read it to find out this time.
We're not going to give a spoiler on this one. Way too good. When Liz confronts Jess about Enid and Jess says she'll step in. So that whole entire situation of how they handled Enid during Enid's breakup with Ronnie and the rumors. Who handled it better?
Boy, what? I might need a little more background.
So, I should have
trying to
put down
remember
the page number. But there was the part where Liz comes home and was just upset because it was right after the start of the rumor about Enid. And she's hurt and she tells Jessica.
I'm sorry. I gotta interrupt you.
Wait.
Someone highlighted this paragraph.
Wait, what is it? Read it.
Out in the parking lot. Someone put highlights around this. Oh my god. Out in the parking lot, he slid his arms around her, dropping a kiss on her upturned mouth. He tasted salty sweet, a combination of French fries and vanilla milkshake. Doesn't get any more American than that, does it?
know.
Todd's kisses were one of the things Elizabeth loved best about him. They were like Todd himself, firm but so gentle. She wished she could stay this way, wrapped in his arms forever. That was pretty much all we saw of Todd, and whoever had this book before me from Mrs. Price's classroom really liked that part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Maybe taking notes about.
Yes, this is how a man should treat me.
Yes,
he should.
This is how I
eat
should be
fries
kissed.
and taste.
Oh my God,
like
what did
milkshakes.
Alan send us? Oh my gosh, poor Alan.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny.
Yes, Alan. We will take that part out of our podcast.
Oh my gosh, he's never gonna do that.
No, he's too good, even though he should.
Oh, anyway, Liz and Jess.
Yeah, they were, You've been invited to a White House reception, and your fairy godmother is getting ready to turn a zucchini from Mom's garden into a jet.
Oh, that part really made me laugh. I thought that was a good description.
I know. You don't think it makes me look fat, do you?
Oh my gosh.
Yes
and then Liz says yes.
I know. Yes and no. What?
Yes.
It's so hard to find this one, but there was a part. Oh no. It's still recording. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I really do have to
We're
switch
not very
this.
sophisticated.
Maybe I just should have it like for 20 minutes. You know, at least we'll stay in the dimmer mode.
Yes.
Because you gotta be right on that one. That's all right. Bruce chuckled. Sure, old Scooby-Doo. Winston's for you, though. Scooby-Doo. He's still popular.
Yeah, he has a new movie out. If you subscribe to BarkBox, you know this. Scooby, that's what it's called. Came out in May.
I wish I could find... Oh, here it is. So, why would Ronnie Edwards be calling you? So, it's page 72.
Oh, yes.
And then... So, I'm doing it for Enid. I feel so bad about botching things up with her this afternoon. So, I decided to talk to Ronnie.
This is ringing a bell now.
Yeah. And then Jess is like...
Yes.
So, I figured the only way was for him to see Enid at the dance, if we could arrange to set them up.
I felt like an axe murderer.
And then the one before it is when Enid's talking to Jessica. And Jessica's saying, like, I think you made a mistake.
Ugh. All right, I've made a decision.
So who handled that one better? Ready? Go.
Ooh. I'm going to say Jess, because, once again, she ended up getting exactly what she wanted out of the situation.
That's true.
I think Liz handled it with more class.
Yes. And I think that's when she was starting to see, like, you don't like my friend. So
yes.
Why are you being nice to her?
In terms of winning the war, so to
Right.
speak, Jess definitely won. Liz handled it better, though.
But yeah, I do think Liz is...
Like, by the end, Jessica's like, I want to wear that outfit. And Liz is like, okay.
Right. So, whatever.
Yes. So.
She plays it well. Like, she's devious, too. It's just she is a lot more underhanded and quiet about her deviousness. That's, again, the difference between, I think, the Ravenclaw and the Slytherin.
Yes.
So that Ravenclaws do the exact same thing that Slytherins do. They are just quieter about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think we even talked about how Liz is a Ravenclaw.
So, now, since this is your first foray, how do you feel as we progress?
About what?
Do you want to read the next one? Obviously.
Yes, of course. I'm in this for the long haul.
What do you think about the first book compared to the second book?
The first book had a lot more to it.
I totally
and a lot more
agree.
of the smaller stories, where this was just the two big stories. And I think it was good for building Enid's character, though, because to show,
that's
like,
true.
she's a dumpy little twerp, as Jessica calls it. Like,
Yeah.
right now, if you have, like, kind of a history and you turned yourself around, you're kind of a badass. So
yeah, I like Enid, and Enid's like made out to be this kind of blah looking person, but I mean, honestly, like she's probably just a regular human.
Yeah. She just, doesn't have sapphire eyes and glowing golden skin.
Bronze legs. But the other thing I think is that I feel like there was probably more effort put into Double Love because it was the first, and then this one was like
the follow-up.
This is the next book. Well, now the third one is quite a bit longer. Okay. Again, it's like 150 pages.
And the book ends at the dance, and Jessica's upset because of the trick Liz plays on her. And then, just then, Bruce sailed past, nearly colliding with her as she stumbled backward in an attempt to escape Winston's murderous feet. He swept her with a long look that sent an electric shock tingling up her spine. There was a hint of invitation in his smile, and more than a spark of interest in his sexy blue eyes. Some of her misery faded. Could it be? Can Jessica play Bruce Patman's game and win? Find out in Sweet Valley High number 3, Playing with Fire. So that's actually really good intrigue because, and I think it's nice that Bruce really wasn't in this story because it's like, oh yeah, what is behind that smoldering good looks and that Porsche?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there more to him?
And he is smoldering.
Ooh. And it'd be interesting to see how Jessica, kind of want to see Jessica lose one of these days. Out and out, fail on her face.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally agree.
And maybe Bruce is the only one that will do that.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. And so Playing with Fire next week.
I'm gonna probably start reading it tonight while you're on your date. Oh, actually, no, I get to see some friends tonight.
Oh.
Trying this gradual social distancing, but we're gonna go to Public House. I'm so excited.
You'll have to let me know how it goes eating at a restaurant.
Yeah. And it's nice because I like what Public House has. They have a lot of a smaller atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And I really do hope that they have something out on their sidewalk because that's just a cute little area. Maybe a little bit chilly, but they're one of those places that probably has blankets, and maybe I'll bring my own.
All right, well, on that note,
yeah.
Anything else you want to say about Secrets? I would like to point out that the covers are the same, but flip-flopped.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, this one is in pretty rough shape. But, yes, they are flip-flopped. So, yes, Liz is very...
Scandalized.
Is this the pink princess phone? It must be.
I think so.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess everyone in Sweet Valley has a pink princess phone. Okay.
It's a hot thing.
Well, thank you for watching.
Yes. We'll see you next time. Bye.